There's every day there's tweets of big accounts saying that strategy is about to get liquidated if Bitcoin goes to 75K. Again, to reiterate, that's absolutely not the case. They will not get liquidated at 75K.
How many chairs are you sitting on right now?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to One Share. None of what you will hear is financial advice, and this podcast is for entertainment and educational purposes only.
Hi, everyone. All right. So I think we need to talk about the markets and how brutal they have been over the past few weeks. And here, I think it's important to go back to fundamentals and start really thinking about the Bitcoin treasury space. What is going on? Number one, I think it's good if you start looking into what has changed since a few weeks back. I believe not much has changed. Obviously, the price of Bitcoin has changed. But generally speaking, let's take strategy. Strategy still is accumulating Bitcoin, obviously not as fast as they did at the beginning of the year, but they still have come up with some pretty good preferreds, STRE being the last one. And I think here they got another 8,000 Bitcoin. So the accumulation machine is still going on. Yeah, I don't know if you have anything to add.
Yeah, I mean, we know from Strategy's Q3 earnings call that they planned to purchase 2 billion worth of additional Bitcoin still this year. They have executed almost half of it with the new STRE preferred that they issued in Europe, and high volumes that they were able to issue as well on STRC last week. So we're almost halfway there. I think if they wanted to really issue another billion plus by the end of the year, they would need an additional preferred. The speculation is that it would be a British pound denominated one potentially that would be coming out soon. So yeah, in general, the accumulation is still going on. Also with MetaPlanet, right, that just announced their preferred shares and also some funds coming in from that end. So the treasuries in general are still accumulating. We had Zeta a few weeks ago, also getting on the market for Strive. The general picture has not changed, but of course the sentiment is in the gutter right now, and I think what is a bit worrisome is on STRC, specifically looking at MSTR. So they had an amazing week last week, right, with STRC hitting 100 and staying at 100 over many days, and you could really see that the strategy was able to issue a lot of STRC at the market, and this was confirmed earlier this week. They issued over 100 million worth of STRC. Record week for them for this product. But then pretty quickly this week we also saw the depeg of STRC and crashing from 100 to as low as 91. I don't know where it's trading now, but yeah, it crashed below 92 basically, and yeah, strategy will need to react on that because it's not good for an instrument that is supposed to be stable and is supposed to be attracting money from money market funds and bank accounts if it is able to crash 10% within a week, right? So that's not good, and we'll need to see how well strategy is able to bring it back into the range. I think it's still a very novel product, right? It's 3-4 months old, so volatility is to be expected, but still it's not a very bullish sign to see it that volatile within a week.
Yeah, I mean, it also comes down to see what strategy does. They probably have to hike the dividend rate aggressively. I expect more than a 25 pips raise this time if the price continues to chop lower than the 99 to 100 range. Yeah, as you mentioned, it's probably not a good sign, but on the other hand, it's very novel. We've seen that in any market, whether it be back in the 1900s on the oil and the oil products. The prices were also super volatile. It's now the same with the Bitcoin-backed credit, so digital credit in general. I think it's going to be volatile for for a little bit before it really stabilizes. Regardless of this, I think it was super bullish to see 1 week ago an ATM of 131 million on STRC. That just proves that once this product gets going, it's going to be a very, very powerful accumulation machine for strategy. And coming back to the general market, I think the Bitcoin treasury market, it's important to remember that strategy is the biggest company out there by like a factor of 12 or 13 times compared to the next one. So even if, let's say, we have issues with what we've seen with Sequence and Nakamoto selling some of their Bitcoin, these are small fish compared to strategy. So in that regard, obviously, it's not great what's happening with these companies, but in the grand scheme of things, I think it's still not a big issue, and strategy is the one to watch, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely it is. It's an order of magnitude bigger than all of the others. So definitely the one to watch. And the sentiment is so bad right now. You see a lot of FUD, like strategy potentially being excluded again of the NASDAQ 100. There's every day there's tweets of big accounts saying that strategy is about to get liquidated if Bitcoin goes to 75K. Again, to reiterate, that's absolutely not the case. They will not get liquidated at 75K. 75K is their average cost basis of all the Bitcoin they have purchased in their history. They paid on average 75K. That's where this number comes from. But there's no liquidation level because they only have convertible bonds as debt that are due between 2028 and 2032. And they have the Bitcoin as collateral there, and they have they're good for the money, even if Bitcoin crashes by another 75% from here. So there's a lot of FUD out there. That's probably also why the preferreds are getting crushed, because if you believe that strategy is at risk of bankruptcy, then of course STRC doesn't feel very safe for you, right? So I think that's also kind of pushing the price down of those instruments. But the thing is, as we'll see, that strategy is fine, even if Bitcoin goes below the 75K. We might find out soon enough, unfortunately. But let's say Bitcoin goes down to those levels, and the market sees that strategy is fine and is still there, and the FUD is not coming to fruition. And as you said, they will have to react and increase the dividends on STRC. Probably they will do so aggressively to try to bring it back up to par as quickly as possible. The probability is high that it will go back to par. And the more often we see those crashes, but also the way back to par on those instruments, the more that the market will be confident that that's where the price should trade. And then you will get more stability in those instruments. And as soon as you get the stability, you'll have every week will be 100 million or more ATM on those products as they stabilize. And this is bullish long term. And I think in thinking about it this way, STRC is quite a good buy too right now, because you know that strategy is fine, is not going to get liquidated, and you know that they will do everything in their power to bring this instrument back up. Right? It's one of the only instruments you can buy where you have a stated goal of the company to bring it to a certain price, and we're 10% below that.
I mean, one thing to keep in mind is strategy is a long way before they get bankrupt. I would recommend anybody that's watching this to also watch the last True North. Jeff had a spreadsheet where he just shows what happens if strategy doesn't accumulate any more Bitcoin, and Bitcoin just stagnates at or keeps growing at what, a 1.5% rate over the next 100 years. Strategy is fine for the next 1,000 plus years. It's crazy. Unless something is wrong with Bitcoin, as he mentioned, I don't see strategy going bust. If Bitcoin anyways starts really falling, because again, fundamentals haven't changed, I think anybody is going to start, or all the Bitcoiners are going to start selling whatever they can find in their house and probably even their houses to buy more Bitcoin. So there's going to be some sort of floor at some point. So those are just maybe a few thoughts that I also had on this. And yeah, STRC is a great buy in my opinion, because you know that strategy has to come in and they want to put it back to par. So absolutely. And I think once the traders get a hold of this, that's going to be an interesting instrument to have a look at, because the traders can easily make right now an 8% gain on this instrument, and then potentially even pocket on top the dividend. So that's an interesting one to have a look.
There's always a risk with everything, but it's a high likelihood, right, that it will trade back up again, because strategy will do everything they can to do so, and you're basically betting on the fact that that they will be able to do it if you buy STRC. And the nice thing is you get in the meantime, while you wait, you get paid over 10% dividends, likely to increase, because that's how they want to bring it back to par, right? So yeah, interesting trade. Yeah, and to add on that, again, sentiment very bad. Bitcoin is down over 30% in the last 30-40 days, and the MSTR is down a lot more, right? We're down 50% plus, and at the end, this is to be expected for a leveraged Bitcoin play, right? Volatile to the upside, but also to the downside, and that's unfortunately what we're experiencing right now. But if you're bullish on Bitcoin long term, then strategy is also a great buy here, in my opinion.
And we see already that the correction goes both ways, right? During summer, we saw this Bitcoin treasury hype, and then there was those crazy valuations that we talked about in a few episodes. And now we're doing the reverse, where we're having an overcorrection, in my opinion. So just in general, it's right now it's all about max pain and holding on to it until we start seeing again some green days, because it's been red day after red day, and it is brutal. And you just as Bitcoiner, you already know how to deal with the pain, but it's not for everybody, that's for sure. Not everybody can stomach that. So that's the one thing. Just hold on and sit tight.
So that's all we had on this one for you today. Difficult times, but can also mark an opportunity.
All right. Thanks for listening. See you on the next one.
Thank you, everyone. Talk to you next time. Bye-bye.
How many chairs are you sitting on right now?